couldn't really hear the rest out of the crazy 5,300 people there.
It was loud in there. It was, I mean, that goal call too. I mean, from your aspect, Dustin, from your aspect, I mean, you had a great call on that goal too. Have you heard this clip yet from you? Have you heard it back at all?
I heard it back. Let me tell you, I've heard it back 90 million times.
At least 120,000 on YouTube.
500,000 on the Hurricanes website.
Oh, wow.
There are wise asses everywhere playing this clip.
Yeah.
But I mean,
incredible.
Like what, look at what Dustin saw. You saw this kid, and I mean, and Skinner's still a kid, especially when you see him. He's even younger than his age suggests. He's very much a kid. You see how much he enjoys just playing, win or lose. And, I mean, to watch that shot go down the ice, even to watch video replays of it, it's wild. I completely understand the emotion in that call.
Well, and not only that, and Dylan, you could probably attest, you go to enough games to know that Stuart Skinner isn't the greatest puck-handling goaltender of all time. And I'm sure he would admit it, too. Like, he's serviceable. He does an excellent job. I'm not taking anything away.
He doesn't hurt his team by playing the puck.
But to play the puck from his own side of, the goal line and all the way down, and I think for me, and I'm sure you're going to play it here coming up.
Do you want to play it first, and then you can explain it after?
Let's do that.
This is, if you haven't heard Dustin's goal call from Stuart Skinner's empty net goal the other night.
Brace your ears.
It's gold, Jerry, gold.
Here it is. Now, I do have a question because your color guy, Rosie, there at the end, he chuckles in.
Yeah.
Was he chuckling at the situation, or did he say anything about the call after it happened?
Well, Rosie always gives me a hard time because my voice cracks once in a while, and he always laughs at me. I think he was laughing at the situation more than the goal call. But if you listen back, and if you're listening to the podcast, buffer back a little bit, and after I say Stuart Skinner, you hear me chuckle. And that's because I'm going, holy crap, did I just get that high? I knew I was going to get a hard time. I didn't think it would go this far.
Don't worry about buffering it back. Do you want to just listen to it again?
Sure, play it
we could
again.
we can absolutely. We'll just, there we
Hear
go.
the chuckle. You heard the chuckle?
I did. I heard the chuckle.
That's me going, oh my God.
You know what? I think Dylan breaks it up a fantastic point because... like when I heard that first call and I started seeing people giving you crap on it on the internet and everything, and I was like, shut up. Nobody who's making these comments on the internet has ever been behind a microphone before and has any idea the emotion that goes into it, the situation and what's happening. I thought it was a great call, and I thought after Stuart Skinner scored that goal, he circles around the blue line and he does the flyby on the bench. Yeah, I could see Tyler Wong on the ice through parts of that third period, and even when he scored the goal, I believe, to make it 4-1, his celebration, when he tucked that, like there was a smile on his face. These guys knew, and for some of those guys, Skinner hasn't been here forever, but he's been here long enough. You haven't been here forever, but you've been here long enough to know that this has been a long road for the Hurricanes, and you went through it last year as the play-by-play voice, traveling on the road and a team that wasn't great, and I think there was a lot of relief and a lot of excitement that came out from the players, and I think maybe a little bit of you on Friday night as well.
Well, and I mean, Pat can attest that. I mean, I'm fortunate enough I didn't have to talk about the 12-win season. You poor bastard.
Well, I was going to bring up, let's not get into who's had,
But in all honesty,
I think you called more wins this year than I had the last 4 combined.
But here's the thing. In that game,
for sure.
It's the Medicine Hat Tigers, your number 1 rival, just in proximity. It's a 9-3 game. They score 9 goals. It's the last home game of the season. It's the first sellout in how long, Dylan? And the goaltender scores a frickin' goal.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, and you could see when he grabbed that puck, he was going straight for that net. He wasn't screwing around. He wasn't trying to clear the zone. He was going to score.
Look, Stuart Skinner envisions that moment. He visualizes that moment. Every goalie does. Even your beer league goalie thinks, man, one of these days I'm just going to fire one down there.
I play video games and I think about it. If I get an empty net, I'm going for it.
You know who doesn't? Think of that? Play-by-play guys. There's no way Dustin and Pat, you guys have sat there and thought, oh boy, if Skinner, and let's face it, okay, I could see even thinking, well, if Sittler fires it down. Skinner is one of those guys, like, last year his stick handling was atrocious, right? Like, it was actually a detriment. It was one of those, every dump in worked because Skinner couldn't stop the puck as it came around. Now, Now he's good. Like Dustin said it perfectly. He's serviceable now, which when you do all the other things Stuart Skinner does, that's good enough. But to envision Stuart Skinner firing the puck down the ice, you have no imagination for that call. And so it just becomes, like as you hear on that, and I mean, internet trolls can piss off. You hear that call, and that call is excitement. That call is the reason you go to games. It's the reason you're a fan. It's the reason you're supposed to be there, is to lose your bloody mind when something really strange happens.
And you can hear in the audio behind Pat, the fans were losing their mind when that happened. That's exactly what happened. And I think that's one of the differences to me between radio and play-by-play, TV play-by-play guys. TV play-by-play guys have the picture that everybody's watching to follow along. You as a radio broadcaster, and Pat, I know you know this as well, you've got to paint the picture, and I think you painted the picture perfectly.
Well, I appreciate that. And Pat, you can probably attest to this too, but if I was doing a TV game, I probably wouldn't have said anything.
Oh, yeah, you would have just let the picture dictate.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And like you said...
rolling, it's in!
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Well, and I said it before,
beep,
but...
beep, 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 beep.
I said it before, is it started to go on edge right at the end, and it started to wobble, and it was perfect down the pipe by Stewie until it got to about the top of the circle, and then it went on edge, and it started to drift to the right, and I was in my head, I'm going, this isn't going to go in.
It's going to hit the post.
Yeah, it's not going to go in.
Yeah, it crossed my mind too.
Look, we're going to go in the Wayback Machine for a minute, and we're going to go to another late season Tigers and Hurricanes game
Is this
where
where
emotion ruled the day. and I just, as it was funny because we listened to Dustin's call, and one of the other guys in the newsroom, like we stood up and we leaned in to listen to it, right? And this other fellow in the newsroom looked at me and he said, "Oh, that's it. That's this year's garbage, crap.
Oh,
right? That is this year's bench, line brawl, Dwight King jumping over the boards. That's the regular season moment that everybody's going to remember. That's going to be a viral hit on YouTube, and that's going to, I mean, honestly, make everybody, laugh and enjoy the fact that how much fun is this? Like, this has been fun. I mean, Dustin and Pat can talk about it. When you travel with the team and you deal with these kids every day, it's a horror show when you lose the way the Hurricanes have lost. And so there's such a catharsis when these kids jump up and pull out and start doing really good things. You cheer alongside them. I mean, look, I do everything. I'm a miserable old bastard in that press box, right? Like, I don't smile.
Just in the press box, though.
Just in the press box. Other than that, I'm a wonderful guy. But the truth is that still, when you see a great goal where you see something that's worth celebrating, you still smile. You still enjoy the game. I mean, if you don't enjoy the game, you got to get the hell out of the business.
How about this, guys? To me, it was what capped off an absolutely incredible season for the Lethbridge Hurricanes.
It's a great way to put it.
Regardless of what happens in the postseason, we all want to see this team go far. I get it. But nobody expected them to be where they are right now, at least not this season. Even you ask Peter Anholt, he'll say the same thing. No one expected it, including him. But, to make a long story short, to me that was kind of the exclamation mark and the quotations around...
A very high-pitched exclamation.
Yeah, exactly. But to me, it was really the big grand poobah finale on how this whole thing ended.
Well, we're going to try something we've never done before, and we're going to try and go live on the phone in interview. We are calling right now out to Regina. Hi, is this Phil?